Tonight on Joy News Prime, government launches a Ghana COVID-19 mobile application. It says will help track the whereabouts of all coronavirus patients at any point in time.
It's a particular area of contact tracing to deal with the coronavirus epidemic. We are ahead of countries such as the US and the United Kingdom on this.
But is that really feasible? Security personnel patrol across beaches to also crack down on loitering following flagrant lockdown violations on Sunday.
The reason why I'm holding my case is that some people destroy their chocolate name around the beach side. So today we don't want anybody to come to the beach.
Also in this bulletin, 26 out of 36 people who died as a result of cerebrospinal meningitis suffered from a new strain of the disease known as serotype X, for which a vaccine is yet to be made.
We don't have a vaccine for serotype X. Even if we have, you'll find it in 1 or 2 countries.
And in business,
prices of foodstuffs to increase in the coming weeks despite government's assurance of adequate food supply on the markets. We have the latest report from commodity trading firm Isoko when I return shortly in business.
My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Remember, we're on DTT because we're free to air. We're also live on digital address GA09925339 on GoTV channel 144, on DSTV channel 421. Please stay with us.
And I'm Israel anchoring from home. In our first story, Ghana's COVID-19 case count is still officially 566. According to the Ghana Health Service COVID-19 website, 67% of the cases have no recent travel history, an indication that those who contracted the virus locally, most likely from others who had recently returned from abroad. Now, 552 of the cases have been categorized as mild. 2 of them moderate to severe cases, with none currently on ventilators. Majority of the confirmed cases, 58%, are male, while the remaining 42% are female. Now, Ghana's infections have now spread to 10 out of the 16 regions of the country. From the first 2 COVID-19 cases confirmed by Health Minister Kwaku Agyeman-Manu on March 12, 2020, the case count is now at 566 after 32 days. The following News Desk report captures the highlights of the country's coronavirus story so far.
Fellow Ghanaians, good evening. The Minister of Health has confirmed 2 cases of COVID-19.
Health Minister Kwaku Agyeman-Manu, flanked by Director of Public Health Dr. Bedi Sarkodie and Information Minister Kojo Oppong-Nkrumah. He breaks the troubling news to the millions of Ghanaians listening and watching across the country with rapt attention.
The cases were confirmed on the 12th of March, that was today, 2019.
This left many worried, with some international schools where students had come into contact with cases shutting down. As Ghana's case count rose to 6, President Akufo-Addo announced stringent measures that affected schools and public gatherings.
All public gatherings, including conferences, workshops, funerals, festivals, political rallies, sporting
The cases continued to rise, with more stringent measures announced each time. Legislation was passed to give the president the power to institute some of these directives. That did not contain the situation much, as imported cases soon translated into community transmission. People with no travel history had begun testing positive for the virus. By March 24, Ghana had recorded 52 cases 100 more cases were recorded 6 days later. On April 1, the health minister placed the count at 195. It rose to 204 on April 2, 287 on April 6, and 313 on April 8. 4 days later, the case count now stands at 566.
Our government says it will now be able to track where coronavirus patients are at any material moment. This, it says, will be possible with a GH COVID-19 tracker launched on Monday. Vice President Mahamudu Bawumia said government's approach to tackling the pandemic will be driven by science and technology, which he says informed the launch of this app.
Our focus in Ghana on dealing with COVID-19 has been basically on the 3 T's. You are tracing, you are testing, and you are treating. So tracing, testing, and treatment are the essential pillars for our fight against the coronavirus. Ghana is doing what even the most advanced countries such as the US and the UK are not doing, and in fact many other African countries as well. So even though we're a small developing country, in this particular area of contact tracing to deal with the coronavirus epidemic, we are ahead of countries such as the US and the United Kingdom on this. Secondly, we are pursuing a strategy of aggressive testing. And in terms of testing for the coronavirus per capita, Ghana is, on the basis of the available data we have, Ghana is in the top 20 of countries in the world. And on the basis of this data too, in Africa, for example, we are number 1 per capita in terms of testing. In terms of numbers of tests, South Africa leads, we are second, but in terms of testing per capita, that is per our population, we will be leading, we are leading the continent. In Ghana, as at 11th April, we've tested 37,954 people. If you look at Africa as a whole, the data seems to show that total tests on the continent are under 100,000 people. In Ghana, we've tested 37,954 as at 11th of April.
Now, Minister for Communications, Ursula Kuffour, says this puts Ghana ahead of its peers on the continent.
We need accurate data to know where the virus is and is heading towards, to be able to fight it swiftly and in the most efficient way possible, just as has been done in other affected countries around the world, such as South Korea, Taiwan, Israel, Kenya, China, and to a limited extent in Europe and the US. We're fortunate. By virtue of the Executive Instrument 63, we can use a platform of all the telecoms companies. Frequent contacts by an individual can be traced through various telephone-related data. The purpose of this, for example, is when a person becomes infected, we can backward trace their contacts through telephone records and location history provided by such records. This helps provide a base to discuss contacts with a health professional so that the individual does not forget any people or locations that they may have been to. This can also serve as a guide to determine if somebody needs to be quarantined based on their contacts and locations that they have been to.
Kwabena Nkrumah is our in-house geek, and he joins me via Skype to help us understand this app a lot better. Hello, Spiky, as we call you in-house. You've heard about this application. What are we to expect it to do, or what is your understanding of what this application can do?
Okay, so basically when I installed it, I was asked for my phone number and my email.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, so you're saying that you asked for your phone number in your email. So what else did you get to know about this application?
Well, and then I went through a questionnaire that was asking me a few questions about how I'm feeling and if I've come into contact with anyone who has been tested positive for COVID-19. There was also an alert to ask me if I want to share my location with the app, which I assume means that the app will be tracking my location. And so with that being said, I had to go on and read more about the app and realize that the app actually uses your location history to be able to track after you've been tested where you've been and all the people that you've come into contact with. And all the other people who you've come into contact with will be alerted that someone they've come into contact with has tested positive.
All right. So in essence, people would have to download the application and have, keep connect or stay connected for the application to be able to determine or to give the people who put it together, to give them the kind of information that the data that they're looking for.
Yes. So it requires that
in essence,
a lot more people install.
Yeah, so in essence, if people don't download the application or people who have COVID-19 or COVID-19 patients don't download the application, it means they can't be tracked. Or if they turn off their data or their GPS, it means they can't be tracked.
Exactly.
Well, that would defeat the purpose then.
Well, which is what I think I heard a minute says to call records from the telcos. Now, with that and the ability I don't know as far back of how long they can get history of location history for.
All right, but do you foresee any challenges apart from what we've just talked about?
Yes, the whole thing is incentivizing people to download the app. If the whole idea is to be able to track people, so in the case where people are
All right, so it appears our geek has had his internet fail him. You're watching Joy News Prime, and we'll try and see if we can re-establish contact with Corby, Spiky, and Krumah. All right, so Spiky is back. Hello, Spiky. So you were just making the point.
Yes. Trying to call me.
Hello,
if more people use the app, then the tracking.
All right, so we'll have to move on, and hopefully we can get to re-establish connection with Spiky again. Now, a team of soldiers and police officers on Monday commenced patrols of Accra's beaches to check loitering. It followed the flagrant violation of the lockdown by revelers who thronged some of the beaches in the capital. There's more in the following report.
This is how some of the beaches out here in the capital looks like. The sound of the waves is the loudest compared to days when music and noise from an excited crowd was everywhere. Security is tight out here at the Labadi beach. Security personnel say they will ensure that no one comes to the beach, especially because it is a holiday. They say they will patrol these areas throughout the day and at night. One of the workers at the beach spoke to Joy News.
As every morning we're supposed to be coming here so that we can tell people to go out from here, because in Ghana some of us we don't take simple instruction. The government has spoke, but yes, still we are doing what we like. So as a workers here, we wish to come in here and telling them not to come inside. As you can see, we have put all the we have closed all the gates so that no one should come inside. That's why we are here. People are still coming. Every day, people are still coming. So we are here normally, every day. Right now, I will be leaving. Another set will come inside till the night. That's how it is. Even in the night, around 10 to 11, people are coming inside still. Then we tell them not to go inside because the place is locked. We don't want any trouble because after all, if anything happens inside, it will not go against them, but it will go against the management of the beach.
This is the Choco Beach. You might be wondering why people here are a little aggressive with canes in their hands. They say they will not allow too many people at the beach and are ready to chase away people from other communities who come there to enjoy themselves.
The reason why I hold in my case is that some people destroy their Choco name around the beach side. So today, you don't want anybody come to the beach, come and bath the sea. So we are holding the case that if you see somebody in the beach bathing the sea, we are going to kill that person. No, we stop everybody in the top there. We don't want everybody enter the beach. So if you see somebody here, a woman or man, big or not, if you see someone, we are going to kill the person. So we don't want Choco people names destroyed. So our name is destroyed from 3 days today. So we want to do. Some people come from somewhere, come and bath the sea yesterday here. They try to do their stupid things. Then that time, around the 30 minutes, we see the soldiers and police people here starting killing people here.
The Choco people destroy us for here. If they come, they come. They see up, they come. That's why they are all the key.
The fisherman of Choco, he is the one who gave us the key to beat everybody who came and swim in the sea. 3 years ago, there is a lot of people came to swim. They came from, let's say, Mamprobi and the other place. They come and swim here, but the people of Choco here, they don't swim. If they go to sea camp, they go home. But the people came from far. The people came from far. If you are checking the news, you will say they are all from Choco, but they are not from Choco.
Security personnel have vowed to apply force where necessary to ensure people stay at home.
You're watching Joy News Prime. We're taking a break, but still ahead in the bulletin. 26 out of 37 people who died as a result of cerebrospinal meningitis suffered from a new strain of the disease known as serotype X, for which a vaccine is yet to be made.
We don't have a vaccine for serotype X. Even if we have, you'll find it in 1 or 2 countries.
And in business, prices of foodstuff to increase in the coming weeks despite government's assurance of adequate food supply on the market. All of these, we have the latest report by commodity trading firm Isoko when Sandra Penn returns with business. Welcome back to Joy News Prime. Now to the rest of our stories. And rising COVID-19 community infections has prompted intensified public education in Oforikrom municipality in the Ashanti region. The number of people who have contracted the virus locally is 2 times the number who have believed to have brought it in from other countries. The Oforikrom municipality now accounts for 5 of the 49 confirmed cases in the region, where 3 deaths have occurred. Member of Parliament Dr. Emmanuel Mafo is spearheading a campaign in local dialects to complement the municipal assembly sensitization efforts. Nana Senso-Mensah has more in the following report.
Oforikrom Municipal Assembly is part of the COVID-19 hotspot in Ashanti region, where health authorities say they have identified about 10 hotspots. The campaign emphasizes protocols spelled out by health authorities in addition to government directives at the community level. Dr. Malfu believes it is important to minimize the spread.
Even if you have 1 case, you should be worried because 5 people, you never know the people they have come into contact with and the level of spread that can result. And so I'm worried that we have 5 cases for Oforikrom, and we are praying to God and then also working hard to make sure that people will take the necessary instructions that we have told them to keep away, stay home, and stay safe. Whilst we are sharing the food, we are using the info centers, and then we are going to go around the info centers to talk to the public about the need to stay home and to keep the appropriate social distancing protocol that government or the health authorities have asked us to do.
The MP also presented assorted foodstuffs to residents in target areas.
And that is why it is even more important to encourage more people to stay home. And staying home means that you need to also extend a hand of assistance to people so that they will be able to comply with the directive of government. We have rice for about 3,000 people. We have bread for about 4,000 people. We have 2,000 bags of drinking water, and then we have oil, about 1,000 sachets of oil, also for distribution, and then some other food items, tuna and stuff like that. So these are things that I have assembled to be given to the public, so that we all support the efforts of government in fighting the COVID-19 pandemic.
Nana Asensumensa reporting for Joy News.
Of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Osei Kufo, has revealed that 70% of the 37 people who lost their lives as a result of cerebrospinal meningitis suffer from a new strain of the disease known as serotype X. Unfortunately, he says there is no vaccine for the new strain. Joy News Upper West Region correspondent Rafiq Salam reports that the increasing number of cases of CSM in the region could partly be as a result of the social distancing protocol at the market and public places.
Between the Devil and the Deep Blue Sea, Upper West Region is at a crossroad, wondering where to swing the pendulum to. As a result, Upper West Regional Director of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Osei Kufo Afre, is at a fix at a press conference held at the Upper West Regional Coordinating Council's conference room.
We are being attacked by two rare germs or organisms, okay, which make the fight very, very difficult.
Coronavirus has claimed 8 lives in Ghana's COVID-19 pandemic. Cerebrospinal meningitis, CSM, on the other hand, has claimed 37 lives, with 247 people being confirmed to have the disease in the Upper West Region. Whereas more, over 3 dozen samples are being sent to Tamale and waiting for the test results. Residents of the region are scared to the marrow about the increase in cases.
There used to be drugs. I don't know why. When the TSN came, they didn't bring out any vaccinated, and it made us to forget. And now it is killing us slowly. So the CSN is rather killing than the corona. Each year around February, March, they should get the vaccine around so that we will be vaccinated against it.
Under normal circumstances, CSM is a sickness that can kill you at any point in time. So we have to be scared about CSM because it's killing so many people and then no one knows who is next.
70% of the deaths are through serotype X, who they have no recommended vaccine for.
Worldwide, we don't have a vaccine for serotype X. Even if we have, you find it in 1 or 2 countries. And in our country, we don't even have, WHO hasn't licensed, I don't think WHO has licensed any vaccine for serotype X. So getting a vaccine for serotype X now, countrywide and worldwide, is difficult. Vaccines are available for A, B, C, W, but for serotype X, it's very difficult to get a vaccine for serotype X. So I've heard a call by the populace that why is it that people are not being vaccinated? Why is it that people are not being vaccinated? And every year we used to get a vaccine. No, every year we don't vaccinate people against meningitis. It protects you for at least 3 years. But this year we are not dealing with A, we are not dealing with W or C. We are dealing with an X, which is a rare strain. So it is as rare as COVID-19.
President Akufo-Addo announced stringent measures to halt the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic. According to the Upper Regional Director of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Osei-Kuffour Afreh, if people in the region are adhering to these stringent measures, it will help in the fight against the CSM pandemic.
Unfortunately, from the field visits that we've conducted, we realize that people are not adhering to social distancing. People are still gathering at night. People are still grouping to do their normal things, and they are not. So the only disadvantage we have is that, yes, the case of COVID that we've got in the region is isolated and contained. So that particular case could not spread. But we haven't isolated or quarantined anybody for meningitis.
Across town, much has not changed since the presidential directive on social distancing. Few meters away from the south gate of the War Market are these tricycle riders and market women closely knitted together and going about their normal business. Though they are aware of the social distancing protocols, Secretary of the Upper West Tricycle Union, Issa Alhassan, noted adhering to it will mean they have to readjust their fares.
Just the day before yesterday, they said that we should not pick more than 2 people. And then we are suggesting on how we can do something about the prices. If we are to pick 2 people, maybe we should adjust the amount that the passengers will be paid. If not, we are not really happy about how the market is crowded.
Majority of the people in the region lives on daily wages. Middle-aged Olivia Awafu says they are aware of the danger it poses, but they need to eat.
We feed through the market. We must come to the market before we are fed. So the distance, we do try to distance ourselves, but we must also be fed. If you remain in the house or you don't come to the market, how do you get ingredients to go and feed the family? So we are forced to be in the market. We know it's dangerous, but we are forced to be in the market.
As the country struggles to slow down the spread of COVID-19 pandemic, the CSM impact could even be more devastating for the 4 districts and holding centers who are without the means to treat and mitigate.
Reporting for Joy News, Rafik Salam.
And I'm Israel Aye, anchoring from home. Back to you, Aisha, in the studio.
Of course, and I'm also in the studio in Kokomlemle, Accra. Prices of several commodities on some markets in Accra are shooting up. We'll take a break on Joy News Prime. When we return, Sandra Apeno brings you business. I'll bring you details of that story. Time now for business, and Sandra Apeno is here with the very latest from the business world. Sandra, we were assured the last time by the Greek minister that food prices won't go up. Why are we hearing this?
Well, Isoko has been doing some monitoring as always, and we're being told that per what they're experiencing on the ground, we're likely to have prices going up.
Take it away, Sandra.
All right. My name is Sandra Apeno. I'm always here for business. Prices of several commodities on some markets in Accra have started going down 2 weeks after those commodities recorded high prices. The situation was spurred by excess demand oversupply as a result of the partial lockdown in parts of the country. My colleague Alberta BCU has been to the Kaneshie market, where some traders attributed price hikes to challenges encountered during the transportation of these foodstuffs to market centers.
Prices of food and commodity are expected to go up this month. This is according to the Isoko Index report. And we hit the market to find out from the market woman how to embrace this increase.
In the 3rd week of the lockdown by the President Akufo-Addo, prices of some commodities have started going down. This comes as a big relief to buyers who have had to endure high prices for most commodities. Many traders I spoke with were, however, of the view that increased prices in the period of the lockdown is as a result of some challenges encountered with security agencies. They lamented that the situation prevented smooth transportation of foodstuffs from the productive centers of the country.
They said the current situation could revert if security agents do not allow easy passage of goods to the market. Despite the low patronage, I still pay my tax. Also, I have gone for a loan and I need to pay back. Meanwhile, the security officials are making transportation difficult and it is affecting prices, but not the outbreak of the coronavirus. Now, tomato prices have decreased. I used to buy a box for 1,500, but now I buy it for 1,100 or 1,000 cedis. I used to sell these ones in the tomato can for 30 cedis, but now it's for 20 cedis. And these ones here are 10 cedis now, but was previously 15 cedis. What the military and the police are doing is very bad. They are restricting the customers from coming to the market. We were told we can come to the market, but we should observe social distancing. We close from the market at exactly 3 p.m. Our biggest problem is with the security agencies. They have made transportation difficult. So we spend a lot transporting our goods to the market, which also affects commodity prices. 200,000. Some traders also lamented there is low patronage of their goods.
Now the market is down. Now people are not coming to the market. So all of that should go inside. So that's why the market is down.
Yeah, ready by you see, Obi Amba market Monday.
When the lockdown was announced, I made a lot of sales. On Monday, the market was very favorable till Tuesday. After that, market has been very slow.
Before the COVID-19, it was okay, but after that, market has been very slow.
I also spoke to some consumers who shared their experience.
The market is still the same. Things are quite expensive. As at before, you know, when we started the lockdown, there was a lot of things that are increased in the market. Like Gary, for instance, it's 15 cedis. At first, it was 10 cedis.
I bought cassava and tomatoes today. I have realized the prices have decreased as compared to previous days I visited the market. With my interaction with some of the market women, they have explained to me that indeed some of the commodity prices have increased, not because of the coronavirus or the lockdown, but rather the commodities are out of season. Tomato sellers, for instance, are saying that the prices have decreased, but there are fears they might increase it due to some challenges they have when bringing their goods to the market. Alberta BC reporting for Joy Business.
Meanwhile, Agric Research and Trading firm Isoko Ghana is predicting an increase in prices of foodstuffs and other commodities. This was contained in the latest commodity index report by Isoko Ghana. Joining me on the, via Skype is Francis Dansueje, the content analyst of Isoko Ghana. Thank you so much, Francis. If you can hear me, you saw that report there. Good news, prices are coming down, but you are predicting an increase in prices in the coming weeks, despite the assurances that we have been getting from the Agric Minister. What kind of signal are you picking on the ground that suggests that we might have hikes in prices?
Thank you, Sandra. When you listen to the traders and what they are saying, you realize that before the partial lockdown, people went out and bought in excess whatever they needed. And so people still had some amount of commodities left. Now that it has been extended, people will have to come out again and then buy. And the signal that we are picking is that consumers are still not certain when finally this lockdown will be over. It is going to affect the farming activities and production. And so, as they said, some of the commodities are already in stock, which they can bring onto the market. The ones that they will have to go far, prices will begin to rise because they will face some difficulty bringing them to centers.
All right, so from your assessment on the ground, what do you monitor on the ground? For how long can what we have currently sustain us before we see prices going up?
normally around this period, you will see prices going up. And so what we are saying is that what COVID-19 is going to do is that it is going to, the percentages by which commodities will be going up will increase.
By what percentage because are we talking about here?
We are looking at on the average, between 4 to 5% for the commodities.
Across board, or just specific? Okay.
Vegetables may be a bit higher, especially tomatoes, because of the way it is. If they get some, prices will go down. If they don't, prices will go up because of the length of time it takes before it purrs.
Francis, one key issue that was highlighted in that report by Alberta is the means of transportation because of the restrictions on movement. And so people who even have foodstuff in the regions are not able to bring them down. Is that an issue we should look at if you want to secure food for people at this time?
Yes, it is something that has to be looked at, because for a lot of the commodities that they transport, it cannot stay long on the road. Once it does, about half of them will get spoiled before it gets to the market. And so the security agencies will have to look at that. Once there are commodities coming to market centers, they need to allow. If they think that the people in the truck are a lot, then they need to devise means to allow the foodstuff and then the people follow later.
I'm grateful for your time, Francis AJ Danso, for that update. But are some passengers planes still landing at the Kotoka International Airport? Well, I'll be telling you more when I return with business news.
And it's time now for Showbiz, and Becky is here with the very latest from that world. Hi, Becky. Becky is just returning from
the virtual concert,
which was organized by the Ministry of Communication and Ministry of Information, and also a launch of the COVID-19 Ghana app. Great. So what are you telling us? We've seen a lot of people performing at the concert.
Why do you want to leave Bralaye out? Hello to you.
Easy.
How is your Easter Monday going for you?
Well, it's been cool. Yeah, working.
Friday was Alaji's wife Wachi. So Monday is what? Some tours out there.
But we've all seen the performances. I don't know before the benefit of those who haven't seen the performances or haven't seen what actually happened today from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. actually 7 p.m. and we have highlights for you.
Oh, why are now very flama? Hey, so free for no matter how na me. Magana jana mintiase. Me baba to I was a jaw walk with the mini no mama. Take it. I dey like a baby. Make you give it to me, kiss me, come hold me, come touch me. Yalla, baby bambini, boy sambam polo into shilukuna. The Kalian Hayalena Sasso, Ami Sasso and Dabsu. It's already such a Jamasonic Catamania. Where are you? Let me go. How did I? Without talking to you. How did I? Hey, without talking.
Today means you.
Becky, Shatta Wale also performed.
Oh, Shatta performed. So, I mean, before I left there, I noticed that Shatta came in. We actually spoke to some of the performers to, find out from there really what does this mean to you as a musician.
I'm sure a lot of people will be enjoying it. I mean, staying at home and getting bored.
I really hope they enjoyed it. But we spoke to some of the performers.
Yeah, I mean, it's a blessing. See, part of these whole movements, because all I can do for my fans this Christmas is to perform for them, and I was already looking for, Easter, to perform for them, and I was already looking for a platform to do that. But yeah, it's all good when the Ministry of Communication was like, yo, you want to do this thing for Ghana, and then come and perform. I was super happy. So I came in and gave it my all. Yeah.
I know that you were planning on a tour.
In times like this, people don't really, seek for, entertainment. They don't really want to go for entertainment instead of the essential, needs. And moreover, we gospel musicians, we are in line with the churches. We are friends of the pastors. I'm talking about the gospel, not only the gospel music, but the gospel fraternity. Nowadays, no church anywhere, no crusade anywhere. It's like nothing is going on. We do our churches in our homes. So even though it has affected all the music industry, but then the gospel musicians we are the most affected because everything is shut down.
Yeah, today will be different because there is no audience watching you, cheering you. You are singing to the chairs, so it's going to be something different. But we'll do it as normal performance, as we are doing to people. Yeah.
What does this performance mean to you?
It means a lot to me because people are there who doesn't have any hope. A lot of people are they don't even know what to do. So through our music, we are going to give them hope. We are going to keep their hope alive because there is hope. There is hope.
And we're trying, no funny. Can you make a what communication? No, show our own. Shout out to man Gringo. Yes, Gringo, Ringo. Wow, very man Dingo. Oh, yeah, man, we never say no background, we are calm. Yes, you gotta be, I make it mama. If I can say, Charlie, I say none. Everybody know I run this down. Yeah, man, we are smoking like every corner. I smoke, shut up, movement, be like that. Girl, if my mind when I'm getting number one banga. I like them, I can't be God. We never see them, we don't want to die.
There, Gringo. Aisha, you are in the mood today.
Becky.
Yes.
Becky.
Yes.
I didn't see you interview the gospel musician who did a song about using the elbow to greet. Is it Prophet One or something?
No, not Prophet One.
But was he there?
He wasn't there. Did you recognize anybody in there?
He wasn't there.
No, I'm not sure he was there.
But that guy has done a song about using
the elbow.
Is it Wabetre or something?
Yeah. I remember.
Is that what you call this?
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Israel, I think it should be the organizers. but I think the problem that people had was the fact that Keisha Kwame Appiah, for instance, was singing Yekodi Bronya when we are actually celebrating Easter.
It's okay, but that's his song. I mean, he was given the opportunity to express himself through music, and that's what people can relate to.
Okay, so
I don't see why people are doing that.
So it means that Bronya can replace Easter.
Of course, it's still Bronya.
Oh wow. Anyway, okay. In that case,
I know that the question everybody is asking is whether or not these people have been paid. No, they haven't been paid. The Minister for Communication is saying that they haven't been paid a dime.
And they suggested it to one musician who said, "Oh, okay, I can do it, and I can talk to this friend." And those who work behind the scenes, Bola, Len, and others also help put them together. I can say that they are not being paid for their services. We couldn't afford it, in these days of austerity, and government is spending a lot of money trying to contain this virus, trying to keep body and soul together. Our economy and all our projections are down. I don't even want to get into that, but all our budget is out of whack now because of what is happening.
Which was your favorite, like the one that got you dancing in your chair?
Kwame Eugene. But I wanted Sarkodie as well. I thought we could have used this opportunity to mend the feud. But unfortunately,
What do you know about the feud?
A little bit. I'm a little, I follow what's happening.
Okay,
That's so cute. I know. She loves Kwame Eugene.
What was your best performance?
I was actually enjoying Shatta Wale's performance, but I had to be here.
You had to be here. Yeah, I think I enjoyed.
Shatta. He knows that I love him.
I enjoyed Shatta Wale too. I think.
But that's not fair to the others.
Yes, I enjoyed the other one. I mean, Dada KD, for instance. It's been a while since I heard his song, so it was actually
Nicolas Omanie Champon.
Rejuvenating. But Shatta was. He was.
So, do you know any of Shatta's songs?
He was late. I just sang it.
Which one?
Gringo, Becky.
Share.
That will be it for sure. Then. And those of you watching on Joy News, Joy Prime, that will be it for you. The news continues on Joy News.
Welcome back to Joy News Prime. The overlord of the Mamprugu traditional area, Dura Na Seidu Abudu, is warning family of a deceased COVID-19 patient in Wale Wale against refusing to cooperate with health authorities after they were identified as having been exposed to the victim. The 19-year-old who died at the Wale Wale Municipal Hospital a week ago was only diagnosed after the body had been released to the family for burial. Health authorities have therefore advised the family to self-quarantine so they could be tested at a later date. The family is however unwilling and the chief is unhappy.
The family that they should be careful of their movement and how to arrange themselves within the family so that no one will contact the disease. And the family said, okay, they have already organize themselves. That was yesterday. I sent a message to them and they told me that they have organized themselves in the sense that they will not touch the disease, the cause. And moreover, the point, the belongings of the cause will not touch it. And the family have to be careful with themselves for the disease not to get them.
Spokesperson for the family, Alassane Ibrahim, however, says the family has since backed down and that 7 members who had direct contact with the deceased and earlier refused to cooperate with the health personnel have agreed to self-quarantine. All units of the Wale Wale Municipal Hospital, meanwhile, including the emergency and OPD, have been closed for disinfection following the death. The Volta Regional Deputy Director of the Ghana Health Services in charge of public health, Dr. Senanu Jokoto, says his outfit has begun contact tracing following 9 cases recorded in the region. He said relatives and individuals identified to have been in contact with infected persons would be under mandatory quarantine with supervision from health officials. He was speaking with Joy News' Volta Region correspondent Fred Kwame Asare in Ho.
When it comes to contact tracing, anytime you suspect a case, it is positive until proven otherwise. So all the infection prevention and control measures are in place. And then from the onset, you begin to list all the people who have been in close contact with some of these cases. That's what we call contact listing. And then immediately the case is confirmed as positive, you begin to follow up on these people and find out if there are any other contacts that you could have missed. So that is currently underway in the Volta region now, in Ketu South, in Pokoi, and in Ho. The health workers are going to check up on them in the morning and in the evening with the appropriate protective gear. They check their temperature. And then anytime they have symptoms, they would report to us. One key component is to ensure that all of them are psychologically stable. So what we do is also to send some psychologists to talk to them, to encourage them, to let them know that this is a particular condition we are dealing with, and then with time it's all going to be over.
Dr. Jokoto also explained 3 of the 9 cases were discovered through routine surveillance at health facilities, while the remaining 6 were foreign nationals who had entered the country through illegal routes and are under mandatory quarantine at Aflao.
We have 2 main categories of cases that we are looking at. Those who were under mandatory quarantine in the Volta region. Some people tried to breach our borders when it was closed. They were apprehended and the samples were sent into mandatory quarantine. After 14 days, we took their samples. So far, we have taken 56 of those samples, and 6 of them have proved positive. The other 50 were negative. We have 50 more in isolation, and we've taken their samples. Those ones are pending. Now, from the routine surveillance, that's the people we see in our hospitals who present like it could be COVID-19. We have a case criteria, which we call the case definition. If they fit in, then we take their samples and send it to Noguchi. So far, we have taken 49 of those samples.
Traders at the Mamfe Kumasi have defied orders to stay away from 2 major markets in the Central Tone district of the Volta region. They gathered there without observing any physical and social distancing protocols. The region has recorded 9 cases, prompting the assembly to order the closure of the 2 markets today because the place is congested. The district assembly was compelled to deploy the security into the markets. The women had to run for their lives at the Mamfe Kumasi market at the side of the police. The CEO of Central Tone, Thomas Moore, said the assembly is doing its best to decongest the markets.
We thought when we divide this line into sending some section of the people in that area, we can as much reduce the number of people who will be here doing business. So we eventually realized that wouldn't be possible. We tried it last week, and a whole lot of people followed particular community, which is Gary and Fish to the other end. Then to try again the other time to see if we can still bring some people here, and it couldn't work as well. So what we're trying to do now is to actually lock down the entire market to re-strategize, take ample time, prepare the new site enough so that we can get enough space for the people to occupy. That's why we take this emergency extraction or give them emergency security. So as we speak now, people are in a hurry to do business and live on their various ways. They are all afraid of the virus. So you can see them rushing here and there in a hurry to do business, not because of anything.
It's live on Joy News Prime. We're back shortly with business after this break.
My name is Rice and I'm Apenu. Let's do more business news. Now, if you have driven past the Kotoka International Airport, you may have noticed that some aircraft, especially Ethiopian Airlines, are still landing despite the restrictions. At first glance, they looked like passenger planes. Then the immediate question is, where are these aircraft coming from, and are they passenger planes? The answer is yes, some are passenger planes. And why? In the following report, Ethiopian Airlines has been explaining.
Following the outbreak of the novel coronavirus pandemic, Ghana's borders by land, sea and air have been shut to traffic until further notice. Cargo planes are however exempted from these restrictions. As a result of this, Ethiopian Airlines says it has not backed down on its operations to several countries, including Ghana. In a statement, the largest cargo network operator in Africa, Ethiopia Cargo Logistics Services, says it is adapting its operations to the evolving global demand for air cargo services following the COVID-19 pandemic. In response to the current situation, Ethiopian Cargo has extended its reach to 74 destinations globally and caters to charter flight needs anywhere in the world boundlessly, carrying much-needed medical supplies in the ongoing fight against COVID-19. The airline added in the month of March alone, it transported a total uplift of over 45,848 tons of cargo to different parts of the world, deploying both its freighters and passenger fleets. The shipments include pharmaceuticals, medical supplies, and healthcare products carried with 86 charter flights using B777 freighters, each with a capacity of 100 tons in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Quote, agility being a key part of our competencies, we have recalibrated our cargo operations and network in the light of the current demand in air cargo business. The airline says despite the grim situation the world is grappling with, it feels heartened by the small contributions they are making to curb further loss of lives by carrying critical medical supplies where they are needed the most. So now you know, the next time you see an Ethiopian aircraft landing at the Kotoka International Airport, you don't have to panic. They may just be carrying some supplies likely to protect you or save a dying COVID-19 patient's life.
AngloGold Ashanti Limited Ghana has rolled out a series of interventions and campaigns in the Obuasi township as part of measures to combat the spread of COVID-19. The mining company has deployed the services of the malaria control subsidiary AngloGold Ashanti Malaria Control and its hospital, the AGA Health Foundation, to support. More than 20 health facilities and markets in the Obuasi community are being disinfected daily by the company AngloGold Ashanti. By AngloGold Ashanti, Prince Apia has more in this report.
A number of spraying gangs disinfecting the central business district of the Obuasi community, including some health facilities. But for Corona, these were workers of the AngloGold Ashanti Malaria Control Program. This exercise has become a daily routine to support the fight against the spread of coronavirus in this township. Senior Sustainability Manager for AngloGold, Emmanuel Beidou, says the intervention is to support the business community it operates.
One of the notable things that we have done and continue to do has been to carry out spraying exercises in all public places and all key or strategic public places in Obuasi. For instance, on daily basis, we do spray all health facilities in and around Obuasi. These include hospitals, and then we also spray health centers, CHIP compounds, maternity centers as well across the municipal and then the district. And this, we are doing it through our malaria control program.
Experts from AngloGold are currently part of the crisis management committees of the assemblies in Obuasi to enhance their crisis management. In addition to the spraying, more than 100 Veronica buckets and other sanitary items have been distributed to the communities. Mr. Beidou explained their support.
We are also working very hard with the municipal and district assemblies to step up education in our communities. We have released our malaria control communication vans, and it is moving all around Obuasi in the communities, educating the people, working with the municipal assemblies, working with the health directories. We share some of our best practices as far as workplace management is concerned, so that they can also learn from and then adapt some of the practices to improve their own interventions.
The Africa Center for Energy Policy has described government's decision to absorb electricity bill as rushed. I'll tell you why in the business news summary, but first, we are still open to business despite the lockdown, says Ports and Harbour Authority. Details next.
Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, GPHA, has announced that all types of goods are approved for clearance at the country's seaports despite the coronavirus lockdown in part of the country. In a press statement, the GPHA said importers, cargo owners, freight forwarders and all port users who have goods to clear are entreated to do so. However, in adherence to the social distancing rule, every individual who is eligible to transact business at the port will be given a special permit by the GPHA, the authority said in a release. Africa Center for Energy Policy, ACEP, has described the government's decision to absorb the cost of electricity of consumers as rushed. According to the Executive Director, Benjamin Boache, there should have been extensive deliberation on the policy ahead of its rollout to ensure that it's better tailored to achieve the intended purpose of mitigating the impact of the coronavirus on the poor in the country. President Akufo-Addo on the night of April 9 announced 3 months of free electricity for consumers of a particular category to make up for the lost income following the coronavirus lockdown in Accra and Kumasi. Cocoa Board has disclosed to Joy Business that the 2020-2021 syndication loan may delay to make room for new processes in acquiring the facility. Amid the closure of ports and banks over the COVID-19, some stakeholders believe that a syndication loan could be negatively affected. Chief Executive of Cocoa Board, Joseph Dwayne Edu, says his outfit has put in place new structures, including online conference calls to fast-track the acquisition of the loan.
And that will be all for business tonight with me, Sandra Esinama. There's more news on our website, myjoyland.com/business. Thanks so much for watching.
Welcome back to Joy News Prime. Now to the rest of our stories. And Joy Prime and Multi TV has donated bags of rice to the people within Kokomlemle environs to put a smile on their faces this Easter. On-air personalities delivered the goodies on the front doors of many residents of Kokomlemle and encouraged them to stay at home and observe all the prescribed protocols to ensure their safety. Joy Prime will continue the delivery to more households in Kokomlemle on Tuesday, April 14. This forms part of the COVID-19 update series on Joy Prime, running from Mondays to Saturdays on all live shows. In addition, Joy Prime is set to launch another exciting giveaway promotion to thrill viewers.
It's very simple, it's clear. First of all, CSR is something that Multimedia Group takes very serious. And over the years, the Multimedia Group has been actually doing donations around the Kokomlemle environs and even beyond. Now in these times, you cannot avoid that kind of gestures. And therefore, this special day, as part of Joy Prime, trying to reach out to people, giving people content to consume, we think that is just fair that at this point we show that gesture. So we are very happy to be part of this, and we will encourage all our viewers out there. If you have something to donate, go ahead and donate. Today is a holiday. People are in their homes, like some say. It's not only the Kayayes.
So live on Joy News Prime. Remember, we are on DTT because we are free to air. We'll be back shortly with the sports segment.
Thank you for staying with us on Joy News Prime. I'm Gary Al Smith with the sport. Former Ghana international Augustine Ahemfo says he hasn't coached any team yet because he has a different approach to coaching, and he would wait for it all to materialize before he takes up that appointment. He was speaking to Nathaniel Atto on Joy FM Sport Analysis program, the Joy Sports Link, on Saturday.
My understanding of wanting to handle a team probably might be different from the understanding of the current coaches who are in charge of our various teams here. Because I think coaches need to be supported. They need to have all the things that they need, psychological, emotional, whatever they need to be successful. I don't want to be in charge of a team, train them always, and then somebody from somewhere wants to make the selection for me. That has been my way. That's why I haven't, as at now, said that I'm going to coach anything. But I believe so that as we progress in life, I might encounter an owner of a club who will give me that space to do my way. I can always dialogue with you. You can always have our engagement. But then you need to allow me to be in charge of the technical aspect of the team. If that is done properly, I think that in the future you can see me coaching. Because at the end of the day, when results do not go well for the team, it is the head of the technical team of that particular team who will be held responsible. I cannot come out publicly to come and state that not the owner of the team was the one who was making the selections for me. I wanted to select Benedict, and Nat said I should not play Benedict, and I decided to listen to Nat. And if it does not go well, I will take the blame. So in order to curtail all these arguments here and there, I have decided for now that there are other things that I can also do to help in either unearthing a talent or trying to give them the moral support and the advice needed to allow them grow to become the professionals that we are all hoping that our youth, especially the young ones, engage in football.
So still on football, now, FIFA on Friday, April 10, ordered Asante Kotoko to pay Esperance of Tunisia $240,000 following the transfer of striker Emmanuel Clote to them. Now, according to a verdict released by FIFA, Kotoko had been ordered to pay the Tunisian club $180,000 at first for the transfer of the player and an additional $45,000 as interest on the figure. In addition, Kotoko would pay the committee that sat on the case between the two sides over the transfer of the player $15,000, bringing the total to the $240,000. Asante Kotoko in 2015 signed Clote, if you recall, for the Ghana Premier League, but the player was still having a running contract with the Tunisian Giants Esperance. And the Tunisian side challenged Kotoko at FIFA, leading to a prolonged legal tussle with the World Football Governing Body imposing that fine of $180,000 on Clote for a breach of contract. And that's about it for the sport. Thank you for your time. Let's do this again tomorrow. I'm Gary Al Smith. A special shout to the Couples Fellowship who are doing the watching across the country.
And that'll be it also for Joy News Prime. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Many thanks for watching. I've been doing that with Israel Live. And
thank you very much, Aisha. Thank you all for watching. Up next, we're bringing you our Hotline documentary. You have a good night.